welcome back to my channel. My name is Sierra, and today I want to work on this heart mold, and I want to make some pocket hugs. Now, I made these little cards myself, and I wrote the poem myself, and if you stay to the end, I will tell you what the poem is, and I'll tell you the size and how I did this, and how I have that little heart on there, and it can come off. So, anyway, I have 2 ounces of resin poured. Hopefully I don't need that much. I'm going to pour some in this little cup here to dunk my flowers. We're going to do basic pocket hugs. And this, some I made earlier. These are little masculine ones with the gears and the little marquee letter. And I made this one. This is with white pigment paste and the Let's Resin red pigment paste. I just put some red in there, marbled it. So I have a few of them here. This is one I made using flowers. So because I like giving these out to my family and stuff. So I have some flowers here. I have this little containers here with the flowers in them, the ones that I want to use. And I have some foil, the silver and gold foil. And I might use some of the Dazzling Diamond. I am not sure. So as I do this, I'm just going to be pouring a little bit of resin, dipping flowers, and you'll see exactly what I'm doing. In the meantime, I'm going to tell a story about my experience with elephants. And before I even start the story, I will admit that what I did was wrong. I shouldn't have done it. But I did do it. I can't take it back, and I don't regret it. I absolutely don't regret it. It turned out to be an amazing experience. What had happened, this was back in the early 2000s. I had over 10 years on the police department. I was in full uniform, on patrol with my scout car partner. And when I say scout car partner, we worked 2-man to a car on afternoons and midnights. I'm just going to put these flowers in here. 2-man to a car on afternoons and midnights. And then we pretty much worked with the same officers. If you were assigned to a car, I was the senior officer on the car. And the officer I was working with, he was the junior officer. And one night, it's like 3 o'clock in the morning, I just poured all that resin in there, and I didn't want to do that. Oh well. Ew. We were working, we were busy. It was a real busy night. We were running from police call to police call. And about 3 o'clock in the morning, everything started to settle down. And we were going down one of the main roads back to the station. And I noticed these really big circus tents, the big ones. And I grew up in that neighborhood, so I've never, ever, I was in my 30s at this time, and I had never seen, the circus never came to town in our neighborhood. And we are in we're in the neighborhood. It's not like we're in the downtown area. We were in the neighborhood. And we were in the part of the neighborhood where a lot of narcotics and lady of the evenings. It wasn't a good area at all. And I kind of joked around and said, well, what kind of people are going to be, coming to this circus? It's I don't know. It wasn't like you're going to get, I don't know who went to the circus. I just thought it was really odd that the circus was in town in that area. And so we're driving by, and my partner said, there's elephants. And because I was so focused on the tents, I didn't see, any elephant. I didn't see anything. I just saw these tents that really surprised me. They were so out of place. So I was like, elephants? I go, and he's passing it all by. And I said, turn the car around. So he did. And we get up to where the elephants were. And they were in a fenced in lot. And it's not like it was, they weren't caged. It was just a, big fence. And they were roaming this area. And I was not thinking at all. I jumped out of the car and I started, I started running towards the elephants. I don't know what animals I passed up. I think there were some zebras. I just passed them up. They were in their little enclosure, and I just seen elephants. And that's where I was focused. And I climbed the fence, and I got into the pen with 4 large, I believe they were Asian elephants. They weren't the big, giant African elephants. And I got in there, and I wasn't thinking about my safety. I was just in awe of these elephants. And thankfully, they either didn't feel threatened by me. I don't know why they were so calm. They didn't try to, hurt me or anything like that. They were letting me pet their trunks and their ears and their back, and I could feel the coarse hair on them and the long eyelashes they had. I mean, I felt like I was in heaven. I just couldn't believe it. I mean, it was amazing. Absolutely amazing. And I don't know how long I was in there. It couldn't have been too long. Who knows? I lost all track of time while I was in there. And I'm going to put some gold in this cup. Just a little bit. I don't want to overdo it. I don't know how long. It wasn't too long. It was, if I was to guess, I would say I was probably in there, in that enclosure or in that pen with these elephants for maybe 10 minutes. Yeah, about 10 minutes. Not long at all. And then I heard this Hispanic guy, and I know he was Hispanic because he had a really thick accent. I don't know if he was where he was from or anything like that. All I heard, I just seen this guy. It was dark. It's like 3 o'clock in the morning. I was working midnights, and I just heard this Latin Hispanic guy, and he was waving his arms, and he was telling me to, get out of there. He was like, they'd kill you, And then I guess I realized that I was standing in this enclosure with these elephants. They weren't like, their legs weren't they weren't chained down or anything. They had full movement in this enclosure. And there, my dumb butt, there I was just, in the moment, thinking, hey, this is great. And then I realized just how foolish that was of me. And I climbed the fence, climbed out, went up to the guy, and he was very upset with me, because he knows how stupid that was of me. And I apologized to him, and he was pretty good about it. I mean, I could tell he was upset. You know, he probably thought I was nuts, which, you know, in hindsight, I pretty much was. And, you know what? I'm going to do gold in all of it. I was going to do silver, but I want gold. He thought I was nuts. I clearly was a little crazy. He, he was concerned for my safety. And you can't blame the guy. You know, I mean, that was pretty dumb. And I apologized, and he just was glad that I was okay, you know. And so I get back in the car, and my partner, you know, he never climbed that fence. He stayed. He's smart, you know, for as young as he was. I think he was only 20 years old, and just turned 20. And he was standing on the fence as I was in there with these elephants, and he just kept telling me, "You're crazy, you're crazy, you're crazy." And the what was I going to say? He stood out there. So we get in the car and we're talking about it, and I was just so like, "Oh, can you believe that I got to, you know, be close with these elephants and this and that?" And he's just like, "Yeah, I've seen it, and you're nuts." Well, then I got home. My husband worked days. We worked opposite shifts because we always wanted to make sure that somebody was home with the kids. You know, because we had our children were, you know, somebody, even if they were, when they got older, we like to have somebody in the house with them. We never liked to leave them, you know, by themselves. I mean, they were by themselves, but not, you know, we're talking that my kids now were in their 20s, but, you know, we still like to have somebody in the home. So I got home and I told my husband about my elephant adventure. My husband was so mad at me. He's like, "Do you realize they could have killed you?" And I was like, "But you don't understand. They love me." And he's like, "No." He's like, "Oh my God." So he made me promise. He made me promise that I would never do that again. And of course I promised. I mean, what are the odds of me coming across elephants like that again? I mean, this happened in the early 2000s. I haven't seen an elephant since. But of course I promised him that I'll never do that again. I look back on that and I feel bad for scaring the crap out of that guy. If I feel bad about anything, that's what I feel bad about, because I really did scare him for my safety. He was scared, but I don't regret it. It's something I look back on now. You know, I'm an older woman. You know, like I said, this was in the early 2000s. So once these are cured, I will come back and I will show you how we're going to attach them to the cards. All right, these are cured. I did have my heat mat on. I just love my heat mat. I do. So what do you think of my elephant story? Would you have done that? Probably not. I'm probably just the only crazy one. Have you ever done anything that you look back on and think, "Whoa, I did that"? You know, that's one of a few things, a few stories, a few experiences I've had where I'm like, "Whoa, I did that." But these are my little. Let me see if I got another light. Isn't that pretty? These are so pretty. And I'm just using dried flowers and a little bit of gold foil with clear resin. There's no sparkle, nothing added to that. And I'll have all the links in the description box. Okay, now this turned out so pretty. Back to these little cards. Okay, what I do is I get a pack of, they're not stickers, they're labels. they're 8.5 by 11 sheets of labels. They look like stickers. You would never know. People never know if they're stickers or not. And I get my little crocodile corner chomper, and I have a full one here. And it's got two sides. It's got a scallop and stub. I used the scallop on this one, and I just fit the corner in, give it a little chomp, and then I turn it upside down because I can't get my head over to see. And I have this, and I print these out. I'll show you. Like this on the sticker sheet, like that. And then here's the poem. I print them out like that. Then I cut them out. And this one goes like this. You just try and find the center. And then you get the poem part. Make sure it's up the right way. We're going to stick that down. Now I like to get my little burnishing tool and burnish. That way the sticker's not coming off. Now if you have them, I have little logos that I stick on the backs. Just turn it around and you put your logos on. Let's see, I think I already have some done here. I do. So I'm not going to sit there and put that on there. I have some with the logo. Like I said, this is a 110-pound cardstock, and you want a heavyweight cardstock, because if you hand these out, you don't want the cardstock to flop over. These can get kind of heavy. And how I stick them down, I get these permanent glue dots, and let me find one. There's one. I don't know if you can see it on there. Blue. I'm going to stick it on the back of, did it come off? Yep. The back of the heart. And stick it down. So, yeah, I'm going to stick with, if you want to, the best way to help my channel, if you want to help my channel grow, is by liking and commenting. That's the best way. Of course, subscribing as well. I got two of them on there. Subscribing as well. But if you really want it, the easiest way is to like and comment. If you're uncomfortable giving a comment, I'd like just leave me a little frog emoji. This shouldn't show up through the clear like that. Let's see. Oh, I got another one. No, I didn't. Okay. I'm just going to stick that down. You just press from the behind, and it's not coming off. I mean, you want it to come off. You want it to come off when they pull it off. And it comes in these glue dots from these hearts. They come off when, like a credit card, you know, or a gift card that you get that's stuck down. The card might get a little beat up from them taking it off, and they just roll the glue dot off. But that's how I do my pocket hugs. And I make my own cards. That way I make the hearts or whatever I want to use for pocket hugs, and I make my own cards to fit. And these are my pocket hugs. I really hope that you enjoyed that story. I know it's, you know, not, you know, like, ooh, a big police story, but it is one of my stories that I enjoy. We bring this out just a little bit. Remove this. If you have any fun experiences, let me know. I'd like to hear what you've done that makes you look back and smile. You know, just keep it family friendly. So there you go. There's my little pocket hugs. And I have these. I'll show you them. I'll bring the masculine ones out that I made. And you'll see. I'll show you what they look like on the cards. I'm not going to stick them down right now. And then I have this one. This one I did for my son because my son is a carpenter. It's got the hammer, the tape measure. You can see it better in person. The hammer, the tape measure, the screwdriver, and the little wrench, or whatever you call that. Isn't that cute? But anyway, that's what those look like. So that is my version of the pocket hug. I will have the poem that I've written. I'll tell you what it says anyway, and then I'll have it on the screen so you can do a screenshot of it. It says here's a small heart to hold in your hand on days you're feeling down or a little sad. Even we are miles apart, there's a great big hug stored in this heart. And I put that, so you have my permission. You can use that poem if you want, or write your own poem. But there's that. And for those who bought me coffee, I really appreciate that. That was a nice surprise. I really appreciate it. And any money that I get from you guys will go right back into the channel to keep this up and rolling. And I want to thank you for hanging out with me today. If you have any questions, comments, or suggestions, please leave it in the comment section down below. If you like this video, please give me a big thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed, please consider subscribing. And to my subscribers, I truly appreciate you. And you have a great day, and God bless.